Welcome to a little bit of story problem work today, guys. So you've done a little bit of review on solving systems of equations, hopefully. You listened to the last video that we were working on together. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. And what I'm going to want you to do after you watch this video is I'm going to want you to go to these pages in your workbook. We're going to actually do a couple together. So you might want to get to page 76 first, because we're going to do a couple problems there together, and then we're going to do one problem from page 79. And we're looking at how we can use a system of equations to write and solve some story problems here. So the two forms that you're going to be using, they're going to be equations. They're either going to be of the form y is equal to mx plus b. And remember, in this form, you're looking for a growth number. Maybe something is going up, or maybe something is going down. So it could be kind of a decay situation too, right? Where something is growing, something is going down by a set amount. So that's going to be your slope. Okay. And you're also looking for a starting point, right? Is there information about a starting point in the story problem? Like, I'm starting out with a certain amount of money, or maybe I'm starting out with 0 and I'm have a slope that's growing from there. Okay? So that is one form that we'll be using. The other is where we have two things and a total. Remember, we talked about how we could use standard form to write information about kind of comparing, maybe it's two types of vegetables, or maybe it's two types of tickets. So any two things that we are comparing that equal a total, then we want to be using this standard form of our equation. So be on the lookout for what you think might be the type of equation we're going to write on these story problems, all right? And we do got this, all right? Let's get after these. So Sarah has $400 in her savings account, and she has to pay $15 each month to her parents. Oops, that means she's losing money right there. She's paying for her cell phone. Okay. Darius has $50 and he saves $20 each month from his job walking dogs for his neighbor. At this rate, when will Sarah and Darius have the same amount of money? How much money will they each have? So the focus for this video right now, and what I want you guys to try to be prepared for class, is to just get the equation part of things correct, right? So for example, equation 1 for Sarah is probably going to be y is equal to the $400 she started with, right? That's going to be her starting point. And this time she is subtracting $15 each month. Now you could also write it as y is equal to negative 15y and then plus 400. So if you tried that, maybe you stopped the video and tried this equation on your own. And if you did, that's awesome. In fact, you should. Anytime you're feeling like, hey, I want to try this before Ms. O goes through the steps of how to set up the equation, try it on your own. Just hit pause. Super easy. All right, equation 2. Darius has $50 and he saves $20 each month. So this is going to be the equation. His starting point is $50. He's going to save $20 each month. So again, we are choosing the standard form. Oops, sorry, not standard form, slope-intercept form, because we have how much he's getting and earning each month, and we also have a starting point. Okay, so that's going to be kind of key to look at in terms of choosing your slope-intercept form of the equation. Now, eventually we'll solve all of these, so if you want to get crazy and try solving this maybe with some substitution, I think I would try substitution on this one. You can certainly try that, and I'll check it for you in class. All right, let's try the next one. Story problem, kind of just developing the equations here today. The admission fee at a local zoo is $1.50 for children, so that's going to be important information. $1.50 for children, $4 for adults. Now, and it says there were $5,050 collected. Okay, so I'm going to write a money equation, and I'm going to write one that has to do with some ticket sales, total tickets. And again, I'm going to use this two things idea because it looks like I have adult tickets and children's tickets. So let's go ahead and make X represent our children's ticket and Y represent our adult ticket. And let's develop a couple of equations here. Really important to define our variables. So the more you guys can do that, I think the easier it'll make it for you as you proceed. All right, here we go. How many tickets total? It says on a certain day, this is an interesting piece of information we didn't underline the first time, 2,200 people. Two things and a total. Adults and kids and a total. So let's think about just total tickets. We're going to have the child tickets plus the adult tickets are equal to 2,200. Okay, so that's an equation that only has to do with tickets. Let's try equation 2 here. Okay, this time we're going to think about money. What kind of an equation could go in for the money? Well, I know that it's going to be $1.50 for every child ticket, so times X, plus $4 for every adult ticket, and that is Y, and then I had a money total. Right, this is my money equation, so it should be 5,000. Whoops, got carried away with my comma right there. Apologies. $5,050. All right, so there's an equation in slope, intercept, and in standard form. Go ahead and turn to page 79. And I want you guys to try to at least write the equation for this one. I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to write some things in. I want you guys to check your work. All right, welcome back. So I hope you guys are even a little bit farther than I am, but I wanted to just kind of show you how I tackle a problem like this. I always kind of underlined information that goes together. So I know for my first equation it is going to be 8x plus 2y is equal to 44 pounds. And I made X represent pounds of cat food and Y represent pounds of dog food. And again, you want to define your variables. The second customer purchased five bags of cat food and 2 bags of dog food, and the weight there was 35. Now, I will give you a little hint. This exact problem is one of the problems in your homework, okay? So for your online homework, you are going to get this problem exactly 100% correct because we're doing it together. And we are going to go ahead and solve, okay? So because things are in standard form, I'm going to go ahead and write my first equation and my second equation kind of lined up with the x's lined up and the y's lined up and my constant lined up. And because I want this term to be opposite, I could go ahead and just subtract. That might be easier at this point, but rather than subtract, I really like this idea of multiplying both sides by a -1. That makes me feel really confident in developing my my new system here, because I will have an opposite term, right? It's going to be -5x minus 2y equals a -35. And now I'm actually going to be just thinking about adding, going down. All right. And of course, you could have subtracted over here as well. Regardless, we end up with 3x. The positive 2y and the negative 2y cancels. Hooray! And what do we got? 44 minus 35. What is that going to be, guys? 9. So as we divide by 3, both sides, we get x is equal to 3. That means each bag of cat food is 3 pounds because x represented our cat food. Now we still have to figure out the dog food. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, let's take this x value that we have right here and let's plug it back into one of the two equations. I'm going to pick equation 2 right here. So we'll say 5 times 3, because x is equal to 3, plus 2y is equal to 35. So we'll solve this. Subtract 15 from both sides. What does that leave us with? 2y is equal to 20, which means y must be equal to 10, because I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I want to say the dog food bags are 10 pounds each. Okay, so you've figured out the weight of each by having 2 different scenarios and solving a system of equations. Excellent work, guys. Don't forget, this exact problem will help you on your homework assignment for this week. Take care.